Put yourself first. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a deep breath right now. Inhale, hold it. Now exhale slowly. Do you feel that? That is life moving through you. That is the most important reminder you'll ever get. You are alive, and that life is yours. Too often, we forget that this life is not a rehearsal. It is the main stage. And yet we keep putting ourselves last on the list. We take care of everyone else. The family, the job, the deadlines, the friends. And by the time we look at ourselves, there's nothing left to give. But here's the truth. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Putting yourself first does not mean you are selfish. It means you are wise enough to know that your strength, your peace, your health, your dreams are the foundation for everything else you want to create and give in this world. Think about this. When you get on a plane, they always say, put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. Why? Because if you run out of air, you cannot save anyone else. The same applies to life. If you are running on empty, if your mind is overwhelmed, if your heart is exhausted, you cannot show up fully for the people you love. So start choosing yourself. Say yes to your needs. Say yes to rest. Say yes to your dreams. And do not apologize for it. Because the moment you start putting yourself first, something powerful happens. You begin to glow differently. Your energy shifts. People notice. And the love you give becomes purer, richer, stronger, because it comes from a place of fullness, not depletion. Let me tell you something many of us forget. Your worth is not measured by how much you sacrifice for others. It is measured by how deeply you honor yourself. When you honor yourself, you show others how to treat you. When you respect your time, people start respecting it too. When you protect your peace, the world begins to align with it. Putting yourself first is about boundaries. It's about knowing when to say no and not feeling guilty. It's about creating space for joy, for growth, for healing. It's about looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I matter. My dreams matter. My happiness matters. Because here's the beautiful secret. When you prioritize yourself, you don't lose people. You attract the right ones. You don't lose opportunities. You create better ones. And you don't lose love. You discover the most important love of all, self-love. So today I challenge you, stop putting yourself at the bottom of your own to-do list. Move yourself right to the top. Nourish your mind, your body, your spirit. Guard your energy like it is sacred. Because it is. When you rise, everything connected to you rises. Your family rises, your work rises, your dreams rise. The whole world benefits when you decide to put yourself first. So go out there and live unapologetically. Love yourself fiercely. And never forget, you are not here to be second in your own life story. You are here to be first. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Think about that for a moment. Imagine holding a cup filled with water. Every day you pour a little for your family, a little for your work, a little for your friends, a little for the world. And with each pour, the water inside begins to drain. Now picture this. What happens when your cup runs dry? What do you have left to give? Nothing but emptiness. This is exactly what happens to us when we give, and give without ever refilling our own souls. We wake up tired, we move through the day exhausted, and we end the night feeling unappreciated and invisible. We become frustrated, not because we don't love the people we care for, but because we have been neglecting the most important person in the equation, ourselves. And the truth is, taking care of yourself is not a luxury, it is a responsibility. If you don't eat well, if you don't rest, if you don't nurture your dreams, if you don't take time to breathe, your spirit begins to run dry. And when your spirit is dry, the love you give loses its power. Your smile becomes forced, your patience wears thin, and your joy fades away. But when you refill your cup, when you take time to nourish your body, to calm your mind, to celebrate your passions, you begin to overflow. And from that overflow, you give freely. The love becomes natural. The care becomes joyful. The support you give no longer drains you, it strengthens you because you are no longer giving from emptiness, you are giving from abundance. So many people carry the belief that self-care is selfish. But let me tell you, selfishness is taking everything and giving nothing. Self-care is filling yourself up so you can give even more. A mother who takes time to rest becomes a better mother. A leader who takes time to reflect becomes a wiser leader. A friend who nurtures their own peace becomes a more supportive friend. By caring for yourself, you are not only helping yourself, you are helping everyone connected to you. Imagine this, a candle that keeps burning without pause eventually melts down to nothing. But when you trim the wick, protect it from the wind, and give it space to shine, that candle lights up the whole room. You are that candle. Your flame matters, your light matters, and the world needs it. But you cannot keep burning yourself out and expect to keep glowing. Think of all the times you said yes when your heart was screaming no. All the times you carried someone else's burden while ignoring your own pain. All the times you tried to be everything for everyone while you forgot to be something for yourself. That is how your cup empties. That is how your flame flickers. And that is why so many of us feel lost. Not because we lack love, but because we've forgotten to give love inward. But here's the beautiful part. It doesn't take much to refill your cup. Sometimes it's 10 minutes of silence in the morning. Sometimes it's reading a book that makes your soul dance. Sometimes it's saying no and not explaining why. Sometimes it's walking outside and feeling the sun on your face. Small things, consistent things, intentional things, they refill you. And once you are full, you stop resenting the world for taking so much, because you are strong enough to keep giving without breaking. Taking care of yourself is the foundation for everything else in life. When your cup is full, you show up better for your children, your partner, your work, your community. You listen more deeply. You laugh more freely. You forgive more easily. Why? Because you are no longer drained. You are energized. So remember this, you cannot give your best if you are constantly running on empty. You cannot offer love if you have no love for yourself. You cannot inspire others if your own soul is tired and forgotten. The best gift you can give to the people you love is a version of yourself that is whole, healthy, and full. And when you reach that place, when your cup overflows, you begin to give in a way that uplifts instead of depletes. You begin to shine in a way that lights others without burning yourself. You begin to love in a way that is steady, strong, and endless, because it comes from a well that never runs dry. Putting yourself first is not selfish, it's self-respect. For too long, we have been taught that to be good, to be kind, to be worthy, we must always put others before ourselves. We were told that selflessness means sacrifice, that love means forgetting our own needs, and that humility means staying small while everyone else takes space. But that is not love, that is not kindness, and that is not respect. That is self-abandonment. True respect begins with how you treat yourself. If you constantly silence your voice so others can speak, if you continuously dim your light so others can shine, if you keep pushing your dreams aside so others can chase theirs, then you are teaching the world a dangerous lesson that your needs do not matter. And once you start sending that message, people will believe it. They will take from you endlessly because you have shown them that you do not value yourself enough to say stop. But when you begin to put yourself first, when you decide that your happiness, your peace, and your dreams deserve space, something powerful happens. You shift the energy around you. You tell the world, I matter. I am not invisible. My life is just as important as yours. And the world responds to that. People may resist at first, they may not understand, but eventually they adjust. Because when you respect yourself, you set a new standard for how others must respect you. Putting yourself first does not mean you stop loving others. It means you love yourself alongside them. It does not mean you ignore responsibilities. It means you carry them with balance, not at the cost of your soul. It does not mean you push people away. It means you stop abandoning yourself to keep them close. Think about the power of a boundary. When you tell someone, this is what I will accept and this is what I will not, you are not being cruel, you are being clear. That clarity protects your peace. That clarity keeps your dignity intact. That clarity teaches others that your time and your energy are sacred, and that you will no longer give them away cheaply. There is a quiet strength in choosing yourself. For example, when you decide to rest instead of saying yes to every invitation, that is respect. When you take time to invest in your education, your health, your passions, instead of spending every second serving others' dreams, that is respect. When you walk away from relationships that drain you instead of feed you, that is respect. These choices may be hard, but they are necessary because they remind you that your life is not meant to be lived only in service of others. You were given this life to live it fully too. Many people confuse sacrifice with love. They think giving up everything for someone else is the highest form of devotion. But real love doesn't demand that you destroy yourself. Real love allows space for both people to grow, both people to shine, both people to live with freedom. If the love in your life costs you your peace, your joy, and your sense of self, then it isn't love, it's control. And the only way to break free from it is to choose yourself first. Your dreams are not less important because someone else has louder ones. Your happiness is not less valuable because someone else is demanding attention. Your health is not less urgent because others have needs. You are not less. You never were. And the moment you begin to act as if your well-being matters, you reclaim the life you were meant to live. There is no medal for neglecting yourself, no award for being the one who suffers silently, no crown waiting for you because you gave up your joy so others could have theirs. The only thing waiting for you at the end of that road is regret. Regret for the things you didn't do, the dreams you didn't chase, the joy you didn't claim. But when you put yourself first, regret disappears. In its place, you find fulfillment, peace, and a deep pride that you honored the one life you were given. The world does not need a burnt-out version of you. It needs a whole you, a vibrant you, a strong you. And you become that version only when you begin to prioritize yourself. When you start treating yourself with respect, you walk differently, you speak differently, you attract differently. You no longer tolerate crumbs because you know you deserve the feast. You no longer beg for love. because you are already filled with love within. You no longer chase approval because you approve of yourself. So when someone tells you that putting yourself first is selfish, smile and let them think what they want. Because you know the truth. You know that choosing yourself is not an act of arrogance. It is an act of dignity. You know that honoring your own needs doesn't make you less loving. It makes your love more real. And you know that the moment you respect yourself, you give others permission to do the same in their own lives. Boundaries protect your peace. They are the invisible lines that separate what is good for you from what is harmful to you, what nourishes you from what drains you, what strengthens you from what weakens you. And yet so many of us struggle to draw those lines. We say yes when our heart is screaming no. We give our time to things that do not serve us. We allow people to cross into our space with their demands, their negativity, their chaos. And we call it love. We call it kindness. We call it duty. But what it really is the slow erosion of our spirit. Think of your peace like a garden. If you do not put a fence around it, anyone can walk in, trample the flowers, pull out the roots, and leave it in ruins. Boundaries are that fence. They do not mean you stop loving, they mean you love wisely. They do not mean you stop giving, they mean you give with balance. They do not mean you shut people out, they mean you protect the sacred space where your soul grows. Learning to say no is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. For too long, we have been conditioned to believe that saying no makes us unkind, selfish, or rude. But the truth is, every no to something that drains you is a yes to something that restores you. Every no to chaos is a yes to peace. Every no to demands that don't align with your values is a yes to your growth. And when you begin to see no not as rejection but as redirection, you begin to live with freedom. There will always be people who take more than they give, people who call only when they need, who drain your energy without ever refilling it, who expect you to carry their load while ignoring your own. Without boundaries, you allow them to shape your life. With boundaries, you reclaim it. You are no longer a doormat for others' footprints. You are the gatekeeper of your own well-being. Boundaries are not walls, they are bridges. They allow you to connect with others without losing yourself. They allow you to give generously without becoming empty. They allow you to love deeply without being consumed. A boundary says, I care about you, but I care about me too. And that balance is what makes relationships healthy, what makes love real, what makes respect mutual. Think of the times you said yes when you wanted to say no. Maybe it was agreeing to work late when you were already exhausted. Maybe it was attending an event you had no energy for. Maybe it was letting someone speak to you in a way that dishonored you just to keep the peace. And what happened? Your energy dimmed, your spirit ached, your peace was stolen. That is the cost of living without boundaries. Now think of the times you said no with courage, the times you honored your rest, your space, your truth. At first, maybe you felt guilty. Maybe you worried about disappointing someone. But later, what did you feel? Relief, freedom, strength, because deep down you knew you had chosen yourself. That is the reward of living with boundaries. Your time and energy are your most precious resources. Once they are gone, you cannot get them back. Yet we give them away so carelessly, as if they are endless, but they are not. Every hour you spend in a space that drains you is an hour you could have spent creating, healing, resting, or growing. Every ounce of energy you pour into negativity is energy that could have been poured into your dreams. Boundaries are how you protect those resources. They are how you ensure that your time and energy are invested where they matter most. Do not fear losing people because of your boundaries. The people who truly love you, who truly value you, will respect your lines. They will honor your no. They will celebrate your growth. The ones who leave were never meant to stay because they only benefited from your lack of boundaries. Losing them is not loss, it is liberation. When you begin to live with boundaries, you will notice a shift. You will notice that your relationships become more balanced. You will notice that your body feels lighter, your mind clearer, your heart calmer. You will notice that you attract people who value you, not just use you. You will notice that your life begins to align with peace instead of chaos. And all of this happens because you made a simple but powerful decision to protect your peace at all costs. Boundaries are not built overnight. They are practiced daily. They are strengthened with every no you speak, with every toxic pattern you refuse, with every moment you choose your well-being over guilt. And each time you do it, you grow stronger. You begin to realize that you are not here to please everyone. You are here to live fully. You are not here to be accessible to all. You are here to be valuable to those who honor you. You are not here to be everything for everyone. You are here to be true to yourself. So protect your peace like it is sacred, because it is. Guard your energy like it is treasure, because it is. And never forget that every boundary you set is an act of love, not just for yourself, but for the world around you. Because when you are at peace, you give better. When you are full, you serve better. When you are whole, you love better. And it all begins with the courage to draw the line and honor it. Self-love attracts the right people and opportunities. When you begin to truly value yourself, when you stop settling for less, when you honor who you are and what you bring to the world, life starts to shift in extraordinary ways. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer beg, you receive. You no longer grasp desperately for approval because your very presence radiates confidence, and the world cannot help but respond to that energy. Every single one of us carries an energy that speaks louder than our words. You can walk into a room without saying a thing, and people will feel whether you respect yourself or whether you don't. When you love yourself, it shows in the way you carry yourself, in the way you speak, in the way you allow others to treat you. It is not arrogance, it is not pride, it is alignment. Alignment with your worth, your truth, your dignity. And when you stand in that alignment, the wrong people fall away and the right ones are drawn to you as naturally as a magnet pulls steel. We have all experienced this in one way or another. Think of the times you doubted yourself, when you didn't believe you were enough. What happened? You accepted relationships that hurt you, jobs that underpaid you, friendships that drained you, because you thought that was all you deserved. But then think of the moments when you felt strong, when you looked in the mirror and believed in your power. What happened then? Suddenly, doors opened. Suddenly, people respected you. Suddenly, opportunities appeared. Nothing magical had changed except you. That is the power of self-love. It creates a vibration that tells the universe, this is my standard. This is the level at which I choose to live. And the universe responds. It sends you people who match that standard. It sends you opportunities that align with your growth. It sends you experiences that feed your soul instead of draining it. When you lack self-love, you find yourself chasing after people who were never meant to walk with you, begging for validation from places that will never give it, and forcing yourself into spaces that were never designed for your spirit. But when you cultivate self-love, you realize something life-changing. You don't have to chase what belongs to you. It will come. It will come because you are already aligned with it. Self-love is not just affirmations in the mirror, though those can help. It is deeper than that. It is how you talk to yourself when no one is listening. It is the decisions you make when no one is watching. It is the way you choose not to betray yourself, even when temptation whispers. It is in the small choices, resting instead of overworking, walking away instead of tolerating disrespect, speaking your truth instead of swallowing it, that self-love builds its foundation, and from that foundation, everything else flows. Relationships built on self-love are healthier because you are not entering them out of desperation, but from wholeness. Careers built on self-love are more fulfilling because you are not choosing them to prove your worth, but to express it. Friendships built on self-love are stronger because you are not seeking someone to fill your emptiness, but to share in your abundance. People often say you teach others how to treat you. That is the essence of self-love. If you love yourself enough to set standards, people who cannot meet them will leave, and people who can will stay. If you love yourself enough to pursue your dreams, opportunities will find their way to you. If you love yourself enough to walk with dignity, you will never have to beg for respect. It will be given freely because you have already given it to yourself. The truth is, self-love is magnetic. It shines through your eyes. It echoes in your voice. It radiates from your presence. People feel safer around those who love themselves because they know they will not be manipulated or drained. Opportunities flow to people who love themselves because they approach life with confidence, not fear. Love, respect, abundance. All of it begins with how you see yourself. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to be perfect to love yourself. Self-love is not about waiting until you have achieved every goal, fixed every flaw, or healed every wound. It is about saying, even in my process, even in my growth, even in my imperfection, I am worthy now. That worthiness is what unlocks the right connections, the right timing, the right doors. Life is always reflecting back to you how you feel inside. If you feel unworthy, the world will mirror that with rejection and neglect. If you feel worthy, the world will mirror that with love and opportunities. You are not powerless. You are a co-creator with life. And the energy you carry within is what shapes the life you receive. So when you choose to love yourself deeply and unapologetically, you raise the standard. You tell the world, only those who respect me may enter. Only opportunities that honor me may stay. Only experiences that grow me may remain. And suddenly the wrong people stop calling, the wrong doors close, and the wrong paths disappear. At first it may feel like loss, but soon you realize it was only clearing the way. Clearing the way for the right people, the right opportunities, the right destiny to find you. That is the gift of self-love. It does not just change how you feel, it changes what you attract. And once you see that shift, once you experience how powerful alignment truly is, you will never again question your worth. You will know that you are enough. You will know that you deserve more. And you will know that the world rises to meet you when you finally rise to meet yourself. You must be first in your own story. Too many people are living their lives as background characters, watching everyone else play the lead role while their own light grows dim. They wake up each day and give their best energy to someone else's dream, someone else's needs, someone else's expectations, until they have nothing left for themselves. They wait until the end of the day, when they are exhausted, to even think about their own desires. And then they wonder why they feel unfulfilled, why they feel unseen, why life feels like it is passing them by. Life is not meant to be lived as a supporting role in someone else's script. You were given this breath, this heart, this soul to be the main character in your own story. That does not mean you stop caring about others, but it means you stop putting yourself at the very bottom of your own life. Because when you make yourself second in your own story, you rob the world of the very best version of you. Think about it. If you constantly give your voice away, your story remains untold. If you constantly put your dreams on hold, your future never arrives. If you constantly put everyone else's needs above your own, you begin to disappear. And disappearing in your own life is the greatest tragedy of all. Being first in your own story does not mean being selfish. It means being responsible. Responsible for your happiness, responsible for your growth, responsible for your peace. Nobody else can live your life for you. Nobody else can carry your purpose. Nobody else can write the chapters you were meant to write. If you don't choose to step into the leading role, your story remains unfinished and your life remains half-lived. We often think that prioritizing ourselves will let others down, but the opposite is true. When you rise, others rise. When you live with courage, you give others permission to do the same. When you step into your role as the author of your own life, you inspire everyone around you to stop settling for less. By putting yourself first, you do not take away from others, you show them what is possible. Imagine if every person you admire had chosen to stay second in their own life. Imagine if the leaders, the dreamers, the creators, the healers had said, "My dreams don't matter. I'll just support everyone else." The world would be emptier. The world would be darker. The world would be missing the very light they were meant to shine. And the same is true for you. If you keep holding yourself back, the world will never know the full brilliance of your story. You must learn to stop apologizing for wanting more. Stop apologizing for putting yourself first. Stop apologizing for daring to write your own script. There will always be people who are uncomfortable with your growth because your growth reminds them of the choices they haven't made. But you cannot shrink yourself to keep them comfortable. You cannot keep living second in your own story so that others can keep living first in theirs. Your life is the book that only you can write. Every decision is a sentence. Every choice is a paragraph. Every day is a page. And right now you are holding the pen. The question is, are you writing your story or are you letting someone else write it for you? If the chapters so far have been about everyone else's happiness, it is not too late to turn the page. It is not too late to write yourself into the center of your own life. To put yourself first is to say, my dreams are worth chasing. My voice is worth hearing. My joy is worth protecting. It is to claim your place at the table of life, not as a guest, but as the host. It is to stop asking for permission to be who you are and start living boldly as if you already belong. Because you do. When you begin to live as the lead in your own story, everything changes. You stop waiting for others to choose you and you choose yourself. You stop waiting for opportunities to knock and you build your own doors. You stop waiting for love to validate you and you carry love within you. And in doing so, you attract everything you once thought was out of reach. The truth is, nobody else can live this life for you. Nobody else can rise for you. Nobody else can step into your story and claim your role. That is your responsibility, and it is also your privilege. And once you realize that, you stop living on the sidelines. You stop cheering for everyone else while neglecting your own race. You step onto the track, you take your place, and you run with everything you have. So remember, you must be first in your own story. Not second, not last, not hidden in the background. First. Because when you rise to that position, you do not only honor yourself, you create a ripple effect that helps everyone around you rise too. And that is how your life becomes not just a story worth living, but a story worth remembering.